Hi guys, welcome to Shayasana. Today we're going to have a half-hour workout that focuses on building strength and balance. So let's get started, seated in the middle of our mats. Make sure you have your water nearby and we'll get into it. All right, just take a cross-legged position if you can. If you can't, take as close to a cross-legged position as you can. I know Patrice has tight hamstrings and hips, so it might look more like a butterfly or Baddha Konasana. Or anything. Oh, good. You've got the cross-legged. Good. All right. Try to sit up really nice and tall. Get that spine long. Inhale and bring your arms overhead. Exhale, twist your torso to the right, releasing your arms to each side so that the right arm comes behind you, left arm comes in front of you. Just twist the torso to the right. Try to keep the back really long here. Just breathe in this easy posture with a twist. Sukhasana means easy pose. Might not be so easy for everyone, and that's okay, but that's what it's called. And we're just adding on a twist here to start to warm up our core. Stay a couple more breaths in this twist. Then inhale as you come back to center, bring your arms overhead. Switch the legs, so opposite leg in front. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, twist your torso to the left, releasing your arms by your sides so that the left arm comes behind you, right arm comes down in front of you. Really keep a long spine here. And make sure you're twisting from your torso and that your legs aren't coming with you. And for the rest of practice, just continue to breathe in and out through your nose. Remember, you can always return to the breath, focusing on it when things get difficult, when you feel like you have some tension in any particular pose. Just return to that breath and continue it throughout the practice. Take 2 more breaths here. And inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, bring your hands down by your side. Push your hips up and then roll forward onto your knees, walking your hands out in front of you. Come to the middle of your mat with your knees and simply sit all the way up so that you're on your knees in a kneeling position. Knees should be about hips width distance. Now, stick your right leg straight out to the right, so directly out to the side. And that right toe, the right toes can either be pointed diagonally or horizontally or vertically. Kind of find what position works for you, but just make sure your hips are still in one line, the legs are still in one line. All right, inhale as you bring your arms overhead. Exhale, release your right hand onto your right leg, and then start to pull that left arm up and over to find the side stretch. Work in the side body here, stretching it and strengthening it. Continue to breathe here. Just hold as you breathe. One more breath. Inhale, come back to center. Release the left arm by your side. Raise the right arm up and over. And now pull up and over to the left. Right hand comes closer to the ground. Maybe it comes onto the mat. If you are coming down so that your fingertips or that your left hand is on the mat, make sure you're engaging your core here, not just dropping down. So the chest is still lifted, trying to find that open space between your collarbones. Take another breath and then come back to center. Release both arms down. Bring your right leg in. Stick your left leg out to the side again, finding that alignment. The hips are in line, the legs are in line, but that the left toes can be pointed out diagonally, vertically, whatever it feels good for you. Inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, release your left hand onto your left leg, and then pull the right arm up and over as you stretch to the left. Continue to let that breath flow evenly. Feeling your side body stretch and working your obliques as you stay here in this posture. Take one more breath. And then come back to center. Release the right arm down to your right side and lift the left arm up and over. As you stretch the left arm up and over to the right, maybe bringing the right hand down to the mat. Maybe the right fingertips touch the mat. Try to keep your chest open here and your abdomen lifted so you're not just collapsing down onto that right arm. You're really using your core to support you here. Take one more breath. And then on your next inhale, lift yourself up to center with your torso, releasing your left arm down. Bring your knee back in. Come to a regular kneeling position. Now, if you're facing the front of the mat like we are, turn to the side so you're facing the front long ways. And bring your hands down to the mat so you're in tabletop position. Make sure your wrists are right under your shoulders and knees are right under your hips. Inhale as you drop your belly, lift your gaze and lift your hips for cow. Exhale, round your spine, tucking your chin, looking down at your navel for cat. Inhale for cow, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, cat pose, round the spine up towards the ceiling. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. Find neutral. Walk your hands out further on the mat. Bring the elbows down, keep the hips lifted, find puppy. Take a breath. On your next inhale, push your forehead into the mat to lift your elbows, and then lift your head up, pushing your hands into the mat. Walk your hands back towards your knees so you're in tabletop. Tuck your toes under. On your inhale, hover your knees up. So you're still in tabletop, but your knees are hovered. Here's your core here. And hold. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, release your knees. Untuck your toes. Inhale, try to bring your right shoulder towards your right hip. So just crunching in your side body here. So your right hip moves forward and to the side. Right shoulder moves back. You just kind of feel a crunch. So the right side body shortens and the left side body lengthens. Keep breathing. Come back to center. And let's do it on the other side. Crunch that left hip towards your left shoulder. So bringing the left shoulder back, bringing the left hip forward. Hands and knees are still planted. You're just finding this crunch in your side body and in tabletop. Really try to feel that energetic movement of the hip coming towards the shoulder, that squeezing in so you can engage those obliques. Come back to center. Tuck your toes under, lift your knees up, hover them and hold. Stay here, 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Lower your knees to the mat, untuck your toes, shift your hips down onto your heels, extend your arms to the front of the mat as you lower your head, coming into child's pose. All right, push your hands into the mat, lift your hips up, tabletop. Tuck your toes under, hover your knees, and this time push your hips all the way up and back, finding your first down dog. You can walk your dog here if you want to, bending one knee at a time, finding some length through your hamstrings. Make sure you're really pushing the mat away with all 10 of your fingers and your palms. Let your head hang heavy here, no tension in your neck. Then bend both knees and really stick your tailbone up really high and back. finding length in your spine. Then with this length in your spine, start to lower your heels towards the mat, maybe straightening those legs out. They don't have to straighten all the way. Just starting to feel some length. Then on your next inhale, I want you to move your shoulders forward over your wrists, finding high plank pose. Hold your plank. Inhale. And exhale. Lower to your knees if this is getting too difficult for you. If you're hunching your shoulders or dropping them, come down to your knees and do it there. Otherwise, hold. Take 2 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Final inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Bend at your elbows. Lower halfway down. Then release all the way down onto the mat. Lower your head down. Keep your hands in next to your chest. Untuck your toes. And on your inhale, lift your head, your heart, your shoulders. Push the tops of your feet into the mat so that your kneecaps lift. Hold it here. Take 2 more breaths in your cobra pose. Working your core, working the back of your core. And then lower down to the mat. Extend your arms out in front of you. Take a breath, and on your next inhale, lift your arms, lift your head, lift your shoulders. Continue to push your feet into the mat so you lift your kneecaps. Doing kind of a half Superman, half locust. Keep your neck long. Try not to hyperextend. Hold another breath, and then lower everything to the mat. This time, reach your hands back and kick your feet in towards your butt. Grab the outsides of your ankles or the top of your feet. On your inhale, peel your head, neck, and shoulders up. Kick your feet into your hands. Lift your kneecaps. Lift your thighs. Come up into bow pose. 2 breaths. 1 more breath. And lower to the mat. Release your feet, bring your hands beside your chest and push into the mat, coming up into tabletop. Make sure you're in tabletop. You might have to walk your knees forward a little bit. Tuck your toes under, lift your kneecaps up, and hold your tabletop with the knees hovering. On your next inhale, push your hips up and back, coming into down dog. So good. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Step to the top of the mat between your hands, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand with a flat back as your arms come overhead. Exhale, release your arms by your sides. Good. Inhale, lift your arms overhead. Exhale, sit your butts back and down into chair. Now, start to press all of the weight over into your left foot as you bend your right knee further, bringing it in toward your chest. Then cross the outside of the right ankle on top of your left knee, finding figure 4 chair. Keep breathing. Sink your hips a little lower. Keep that weight back in your heel. Find your balance. Find something to gaze at that wall in front of you. Something immovable that you can just hold on to while you balance here. Then on your next inhale, start to straighten your left leg, lifting your right knee in towards your chest. Now, without setting the right foot down, I want you to send it out behind you, making it parallel to the mat, keeping it lifted. Torso comes parallel to the mat. Warrior 3. Hands can continue to be reaching out front towards the front of the room, or you can fly them out by your sides or even bring them to prayer at your heart center. Hold here, building strength, working on our balance. It's a lot to stay in Warrior 3, so just breathe. Try to keep your hips square. Back knee is pointed at the mat. That lifted knee is pointed at the mat. Take another inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, bend your left knee as you step your right foot to the back of the mat, lifting your torso up, crescent pose. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale as you straighten your left leg. Release your right heel onto the mat. So turning those right toes outward a little bit and bend over your extended left leg, coming into pyramid pose. Just breathe here for this stretch. Take another breath. Inhale and exhale. All right. Come up onto the ball of your back foot. So right foot. Bend your left knee and bring your right knee down to the mat. Untuck your right toes. Bring your torso up for Anjaneyasana. Try to feel a wrapping into the midline here. Your left femur bone pulls up and in towards your midline, and your right femur bone pulls up and in using your core. Good. Now release your hands to the mat, framing the left foot, and twist your torso open to the left, lifting your left arm to the sky. Then bring your left hand down on top of your left knee. Heel toe that left foot towards the outer corner of the left mat. And now push the left knee away from you, opening your chest up a little higher. Tuck your right toes under and straighten your right leg, so lifting that right knee up off the mat. So you're staying where you are with the front part of your body, but now the back leg is lifted. Okay, so the right hand is planted firmly on the mat. From here, I want you to extend your left arm up to the sky and step your left foot back on top of your right, stacking it for Vashisthasana side plank pose. You can lower your right knee to the mat here if you want to take a gentler variation. Lift your hips up high. And on your next inhale, release your left hand to the mat, coming through plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, hips go up and back, down dog. So good. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand with a flat back. Exhale, arms come down by your sides. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, sit your hips down and back, coming into chair. Shift the weight into the right leg this time, lifting the left knee in towards your chest, and then crossing the left ankle, the outside of the left ankle, on top of your right knee for your figure four chair. Find your drishti, that point to gaze at. Help you keep your balance. Use your core, weight is shifted back into your right heel. Keep breathing. On your next inhale, start to straighten your right leg as you uncross that left knee, bring it in towards your chest, then send it behind you, keeping it lifted, coming into warrior three. Chest comes parallel to the mat, left leg is parallel to the mat. Make sure your hips are square here. As before, arms can continue reaching towards the front of the room, or you can fly them out by your sides, pointing back, or bring them into heart center. Stay for 2 more breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale, bend your right knee as you lower your left foot to the back of the mat, coming into crescent, lifting your torso. Good. Hold it here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, straighten your right leg. Move that left heel down onto the mat so you point your left toes towards the top left corner of the mat. And then exhale as you hinge forward, bowing over your extended right leg, coming into pyramid pose. Find that stretch. Find the length. Take another inhale here. And then come up onto the ball of your back foot as you bend your right knee. And then lower your left knee down onto the mat, untucking your left toes. Find Anjaneyasana. Your torso comes up, your arms raise. Find the hugging in, the pulling in, really engaging the core here. Then exhale, release your hands to the mat, framing that right foot. Then open your right arm up to the ceiling, finding the twist. Now bring your right hand down onto your right knee and heel toe the right foot towards the outer right corner, the right edge of your mat. push the right knee away, opening your chest up, finding a deeper twist and maybe a hip opener here. Then tuck the left toes under as you straighten the left leg, lifting that left knee off the mat. Bring the right arm to the sky again. And then bend the right knee in towards your chest and send that right foot back on top of the left foot. Coming into side plank Vashisthasana. Remember, you can always lower the bottom knee here for a gentler version. Let's take a couple breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, release your right hand to the mat, coming into plank. Lower your knees if you want, and chaturanga. Lower with your elbows. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, hips go up and back. Down dog. Good. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Step or hop to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand with a flat back as your arms come overhead. Exhale, release your hands by your sides. Good. Inhale, arms come overhead. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your palms. Step your feet back to plank. Hold plank. Lower chaturanga on your exhale. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, child's pose. Knees come down. Hips go onto your heels. Stretch your arms out in front of you and bring your forehead to the mat. Good. Take a breath. Then start to lift your hips up as you walk your hands towards your knees. Make sure your knees are hips width distance here. Come into kneeling. Bring your hands to your back as if you're putting them into jeans pockets. Really make sure your hips are shifting forward here. You want your hips at least at the same level of your knees, stacking over your knees or pushing forward. Toes can be tucked or untucked. Tucked will make it a gentler variation. All right, for camel, inhale as you lift your head up a little bit, pushing your chest open, opening that heart, pushing the hips forward. Stay here. This is already a back bend. You're already in camel. If you want to take it further and feel comfortable doing so, and you have your hips really pushing forward, you can reach down with one hand, then the other, grabbing the top of your heels with your hands. Make sure those hips are really pushing forward. Just breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And on your next inhale, come up. And bring your knees together now. Feet are next to each other. Lower your hips down onto your heels. Reach back with your hands. So make sure your palms are facing the back wall. And then with that action happening, wrap the hands around the tops of the heels. Lengthen your spine again. Inhale. And then exhale as you round forward, bringing your chin to your chest, tucking it down, bringing your forehead to touch your knees. Top of your head comes onto the mat. Once you have that shape, you're still wrapping those heels with your hands. Then you can lift your hips up into the sky. Make sure you keep that connection between your knees and your forehead throughout this pose. If you want, this is a good place to take a headstand if that's in your practice. You can always just release your hands, walk them out beside your knees. Make sure you've got those nice tripod or chaturanga arms, and then you can wrap them around your forehead and then slowly push up and come into your tripod if that's in your practice. If it's not in your practice, stay in rabbit. All right, if you're in tripod, lower your legs down, meet everybody back in rabbit, rounding your spine, keeping your knees in two next to your forehead, and then everyone lower your hips down onto your heels and slowly roll up one vertebra at a time, head being the last thing to lift. Good. Make your way onto the mat, onto your backs. Good. Bend both knees in towards your chest. Give them a good squeeze. Then open your arms out to each side, making a big T with your arms, and simply let both knees drape over to the left, trying to keep your right shoulder blade melted onto the mat. So good. Then slowly bring your knees back into your chest and then release them over to the right. Trying to keep your left shoulder melted down and grounded this time. Getting that spinal stretch. All right, bring the knees back into the chest. Give them one more big squeeze. And then release the feet onto the mat. Lengthen the legs all the way down. Open the feet up, hips width distance, maybe as wide as your mat, and release your arms by your sides. Palms face up. Start to let everything go. All your breathing patterns, just let that go and return to just normal, whatever that means for you. Just a normal, easy resting breath. Release any tension in your shoulders, your abdomen, or your legs. Let that go. Let it melt away. Close your eyes here and find some peace and stillness in the final resting pose of Shavasana. Ever so gently start to bring some awareness back into your body. Maybe just feeling your breath as it moves through you, maybe slightly moving your fingers or your toes. And then in whichever manner you choose, find your way to a seated position, whether it's rolling to the side and pushing up or simply grabbing under your knee and rocking up. Keep your eyes closed and sit in whatever manner feels good to you. Let's inhale together. And exhale, sigh it out. Inhale. Exhale with a sigh. Inhale as you bring your arms overhead. Palms come together. Then bring that shape down in front of your heart center. Thank you for practicing with us today. Namaste.